Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we begin this video, don't forget to give it a like. It truly encourages us to keep sharing beneficial content, inshallah. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our future videos on faith, spirituality, and Islamic reminders. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah bless you and enjoy the video. Sometimes, the deepest heartbreak is not when someone leaves, but when everything is still, silent, paused, while your heart longs, hopes, and waits. You've prayed, you've dreamed, and you've believed. Yet nothing seems to be moving. But what if this silence is sacred? What if this delay is not rejection, but divine refinement? What if Allah is holding you back, not to punish you, but to prepare you for the very person you've been praying for? Many people see delay as a sign of disapproval, but in the eyes of the one who sees all time, who knows your soul deeper than you know yourself, delay often means protection. It means construction. A seed buried in the soil is not dead. It is being prepared to bloom. And just like that seed, you too may be in a moment of stillness, because something greater is taking form beneath the surface of your life. That kingdom spouse you keep feeling drawn to, Allah knows. He sees the alignment that still needs to happen, the growth that must occur in both of your hearts, the tests that must shape you into people who can sustain the weight of such a divine bond. Sometimes you want it now, because your emotions are loud, your loneliness screams. But Allah doesn't act based on temporary feelings. He moves with eternal wisdom. The heart you have may desire love, companionship, peace in another soul, but it must first find it in its Creator. Because Allah knows that if He gave you that person right now, before you're spiritually grounded, it could become a distraction instead of a blessing. A blessing received before you're ready becomes a burden. And Allah loves you too much to give you something that could destroy you. Imagine giving a sword to a child. Would they know how to handle it? Would they wield it for good or cause harm unintentionally? In the same way, a soul unprepared for a relationship may misuse love, misunderstand intimacy, or misplace priorities. This is why Allah, in His mercy, holds certain things back. And not forever, but until the right time, the perfect moment He has written in your qadar. Think about Prophet Musa before he could return to free his people, he had to spend years away in Midian, growing, learning, becoming. The promise was always his, but the preparation was necessary. The same is true for you. If Allah is keeping you single, if He is placing a distance between you and the one you feel called to, it might be because He is working on your heart. Or maybe He's working on theirs. Maybe their soul is still being healed. Maybe they're not yet who they need to be in order to love you the way Allah intends. It's easy to want to rush, to try to fix the timeline, to reach out and make something happen. But there is a stillness that carries divine presence. There is a waiting that purifies. In this pause, Allah is teaching you to love without attachment, to hope without forcing, to trust without having all the answers. He's training your spirit to find peace in Him alone. Because when your joy is no longer dependent on someone else's affection, you are finally ready to give and receive love in its purest form. Sometimes, you feel that person in your du'as. You hear their name in your heart during tahajjud. You see signs that seem to lead you back to them, but nothing is happening, and that can be confusing. But remember, just because the promise is delayed doesn't mean it's denied. There are things Allah is shaping inside of you: patience, strength, emotional resilience. There are spiritual muscles being formed in the quiet that will help you carry the weight of marriage when it finally arrives. Don't despise this season. Don't rush what Allah is still writing. There are angels carrying your du'as. There is wisdom in every closed door. Allah may be holding you back, not because you're being forgotten, but because the moment you're waiting for will mean everything. And He wants you to be ready to receive it, fully, with a grateful and prepared heart. So breathe. Surrender. Keep praying, keep working on yourself. And when your soul whispers, "Why not yet?" let your faith respond, "Because He loves me too much to give me something unripe." Allah's timing is not random, it's precise. And if He's holding you back, it's because He sees something ahead that you cannot. And that something might just be the very love you've been asking for, perfectly prepared, beautifully timed, divinely destined. In a world that often tells you to chase love, to find the one, and to force what feels right, Islam offers a different path, a path of surrender, of divine alignment, of trust in the unseen. When you are connected to Allah, you begin to realize that some love stories aren't meant to be chased. They are written. And if they are written by Allah, nothing and no one can erase them. There's something beautiful and sacred about the concept of qadar, divine destiny. It means that what is meant for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. This applies not only to opportunities and provisions, but also to people. When it comes to your kingdom spouse, the one Allah has chosen for you, it's not about effort alone or emotion alone. It's about alignment with what Allah has already decreed for your heart. That person you keep returning to in your thoughts and du'as. That one soul you feel tied to beyond logic or distance. It may not be an illusion. It may be a sign that Allah has written something in the unseen that your heart is already tuned into. But just because something is written doesn't mean it will come without a journey. Even the most beautiful destinations require a path, and sometimes that path includes separation, tests, and silence. Sometimes Allah withholds the meeting or the reunion because He is busy preparing both souls for something greater than just emotional fulfillment. He is preparing you for a purpose-driven union, one that reflects His mercy, His balance, His plan. In Islamic teachings, marriage is not just a contract or social agreement. It is a spiritual covenant. It is half of your deen. That means the person you marry will shape not only your daily life, but also your path to the hereafter. That's why Allah doesn't treat this matter lightly. He doesn't allow soul ties to form based on fleeting feelings or surface-level attraction. No, He ties hearts in the unseen, with wisdom and divine order, in ways we may not fully understand until much later. And if Allah has decreed someone for you, even if they are far, even if they are unaware of your feelings, even if life seems to be pulling you in opposite directions, He will bring it back together in His perfect time. Because no one can override His plan. No interference, no distance, no delay can stop a union that is held together by His will. Some people are not just your spouse. They are your mirror, your spiritual partner, your teammate in this test called dunya. They are meant to sharpen you, elevate you, and walk with you toward Jannah. But before such a union can happen, both hearts must be refined. Just like iron must be forged in fire before it becomes strong, two souls must go through experiences that soften their ego, purify their intentions, and align their priorities with Allah. That's why Allah may separate you from someone you feel connected to, not to punish you, but to grow you. You may be ready in love, but not in character. They may love you back, but they may not be spiritually prepared to lead or support you in the way Allah intends. So, He separates. He delays. He teaches both of you in silence what love could never teach in noise. There's wisdom in every pause. There's mercy in every not yet. You may feel forgotten, but you are being written into something beautiful. You may feel like time is being wasted, but in the unseen, angels are recording du'as, shaping paths, and preparing two hearts for an encounter that will glorify Allah, not just fulfill desire. Think about it this way. The best love stories are not the ones that move fast. They are the ones that are rooted deep, and roots take time. They grow in the dark. They are unseen. But when they are strong, the tree that grows from them can weather any storm. In the same way, your divine connection may be growing silently, invisibly. But when it's ready, it will be unshakable. So don't worry if others don't understand the bond you feel. Don't panic if things aren't happening in your timeline. If this person is your kingdom spouse, written for you in the book that never lies, Allah will bring them into your life in a way that leaves no doubt, not by force, not by confusion, but with clarity, peace, and divine ease. Until then, trust the process. Purify your heart. Don't chase, prepare. Don't beg, believe. Don't lose hope. Allah never forgets what you ask Him for in sujood. And when the moment comes, when the two souls that were shaped apart finally align, you'll understand why Allah made you wait, why He held you back, why He asked you to be patient. It wasn't rejection, it was protection. It wasn't silence. It was a sacred preparation for a love written in the stars, ordained by the most merciful, sealed in the heavens before you ever even met. Sometimes you keep wondering why everything else seems to fall apart, why no other relationship feels right, why every time you try to move on, something pulls you back. It's not just confusion, it's a divine redirection. Allah is not letting your heart settle elsewhere because He is holding you back for someone specific. And if you pay close attention, there are signs, subtle yet powerful, that He is preserving your heart for a destined union. One of the clearest signs is closed doors. You may have entered relationships that felt promising only for them to end suddenly and unexpectedly. What seemed like the one vanishes without explanation. That's not always a failure. Sometimes it's Allah's protection. He removes people not to hurt you, but to shield you from what you can't yet see. He ends connections that are not aligned with your qadar, because He's already written a better one for you. Another sign is inner restlessness. You might meet good people, kind, attractive, respectful, but deep inside, you feel something's off. That subtle feeling that this isn't it refuses to go away. That's not your ego speaking. It might be your fitrah recognizing that Allah has set someone else aside for you. When your soul doesn't feel settled, it's because it knows it was created to be at peace with another specific soul. As the Prophet Muhammad said, souls are like recruited soldiers. Those who recognized one another in the heavens are attracted to one another on earth. There's also the sign of recurring thoughts and dreams. Maybe there's a specific person you keep thinking about, not in a way that distracts you from Allah, but in a way that pushes you toward prayer, growth, and inner reflection. You may see them in dreams or feel a sense of peace when you make dua for them. This might be Allah's way of keeping that connection alive within you until the time is right. He places certain people in your heart, not to confuse you, but to prepare you. You may even notice that no matter how far life takes you from that person, your paths keep crossing in strange ways. Maybe through mutual friends, unexpected messages, or simply the feeling that they're not out of your story yet. These divine echoes are not coincidences. Allah doesn't play with your heart. When He places someone there repeatedly, it's for a reason. So if you find yourself unable to let go, not out of attachment, but because your soul feels anchored to someone, it might be because Allah is still writing that chapter. But remember, these signs are not an excuse to obsess. They are reminders to trust. Use them as motivation to return to Allah, to pray sincerely, to seek clarity in istikhara, and to grow while you wait. If that person is written for you, Allah will bring them in His perfect time. Not a moment early, not a moment late. While you're waiting for that divine connection, that soul you believe Allah has set aside for you, the most important question is not, when will they come? But, am I becoming who I need to be? Many people desire their kingdom spouse, but few prepare for them in the way Islam teaches. In Islam, love is sacred, and marriage is half of your faith. That means preparing for your future spouse is not just emotional, it's spiritual. It starts with the heart, the soul, and your connection with Allah. One of the most powerful steps you can take is to purify your intentions. Ask yourself honestly, do I want this person just to fill a void? Or do I want to serve Allah better with them? Do I want to escape loneliness? Or do I want to build a home rooted in faith, mercy, and purpose? When your niyyah, intention, is pure, Allah opens doors. But when it's clouded by desperation, attachment, or fantasy, the journey becomes heavier. This is why spiritual preparation is essential. It purifies your longing and centers it around Allah. Daily dua is your spiritual training ground. Talk to Allah often, not only to ask for that person, but to ask for your own growth. Pray, Ya Allah, if they are good for my faith, my future, and my heart, bring them to me in a way that is best. But if not, remove them from my path and remove the desire from my heart. This kind of prayer shows maturity. It shows surrender. It tells Allah that you trust His wisdom more than your wants. And that kind of faith always attracts divine favor. Practical preparation matters too. Are you working on your patience, your emotional regulation, your ability to communicate with kindness? Because love is not just found, it's built. And marriage will test parts of your soul you never knew existed. The more you grow in emotional intelligence and inner peace now, the more you'll be ready to receive that person without projecting your past pain onto them. Remember, healing is not only for your benefit, it's for theirs too. Also, surround yourself with goodness. Join gatherings of remembrance, read the Quran regularly, stay consistent in your salah. A heart connected to Allah becomes magnetic to the right kind of person. If your future spouse is being prepared in the same way, your paths will naturally align at the right moment, not through force, but through divine alignment. So prepare with purpose, not because you're desperate, but because you're faithful, not because you're afraid to be alone, but because you want to be whole before you unite with someone else. Allah does not delay for no reason. If He's asking you to wait, it means there's still something beautiful to work on, something in you or something in them. Trust the process, and while you wait, become the kind of person you want to receive. That's how divine love begins. With self-work, sincerity, and total trust in Allah's timing. May Allah bless you and guide you to a life filled with mercy, love, and tranquility.